Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Pescador, and in this episode of the podcast, I talked to GeneralAndrews and SpazeeMcGee, the founders of the 8-Bit Dojo, a content creation community that helps its members reach their individual goals in content creation while creating lifelong friendships. In this episode of the podcast, we talk about how individuals can thrive when joining a content creation community, what community means to them, and how to create a long-lasting, successful community. Also, the Rad Gaming Podcast is sponsored by Cento Fiore. Cento Fiore is the lifestyle, is the fashion brand, and they have a ton of comfortable clothing. I just purchased myself some sandals from Cento Fiore, and they are extremely comfortable. You need to pick yourself up a pair of them. If you don't have them already, they are amazing. I wear them everywhere. That is CENTO-FIORI.com. Also, the Rad Gaming Podcast is part of Big Heads Media. With that said, on to the podcast. All right, gentlemen, please just introduce yourself. Tell me what role you have in the community, and please tell me a little bit about the 8-Bit Dojo.
So do you want to know more so about like ourselves as in content creators, or like branch off from that on what we do in the community and stuff like that? All right. Yeah. So I'm SpazeeMcGee. I am primarily a Star Citizen streamer currently. We also kind of leave a little leg room in there for sci-fi variety from time to time. I'm all about laughing and kind of dealing out some genuine positivity in the community. But you will kind of see me crack a lot of jokes in my stream. You also see me rage a lot, hence the spazzy part of my name. So I guess to explain my role in the 8-Bit Dojo, I am a co-owner to it. We started this back in 2016, fall of 2016, and it's just been amazing ever since. I can kind of extrapolate, or we can let Jen kind of hop in here.
And so I'm GeneralAndrews, and I am a variety streamer that mostly dabbles in speedrunning and retro games. With that being said, my aspect of my stream that I appreciate the most is trying to bridge two polar opposites. A lot of times people are assuming if you're doing this, then the other can't be had. So example, fitness. That means if you're really into fitness, you're not going to be into gaming. Well, obviously that's not true. If you're, let's say you're really into, again, fitness and doing very athletic and competitive things, well, then you're not going to be into makeup and cosplay or even things such as anime. And again, trying to merge these worlds.
So you're trying to break those stereotypes down. Is that what you're trying to say?
Break the stereotypes down, because all they are, somebody said it, and for some reason, somebody else wanted to believe that, and it's perpetuated to where now everyone's divided. So where does that come into the 8-Bit Dojo? We're trying to be an all-inclusive type of club, community, whatever, kind of reaches to the heart where you're like, you know what, that sounds like a place I might want to try out. So I'm also a co-owner, and what I try to do a lot of the times is I try to maintain a certain atmosphere. So I don't necessarily want to always jump down the throat of somebody that's not following the rules, but if everybody else is going to follow the rules, I think it's only fair that everybody else who now is new or old maintains that. So it's always a safe environment. You know where you stand. You know that you get to talk to people. You know you get to have good, wholesome interactions, and that you feel safe and not the opportunity that someone's going to take advantage of you.
That's a great point. So what exactly is the 8-Bit Dojo? Because I know it's a streaming community, but please go into more depth about it. Please explain.
So it is not only, just a streaming community, but it is also a hub for, all of our viewers to come in and hang out and stuff like that. I think the thing that we do differently is, like Jen said, we kind of take out the exclusivity and we make it more inclusive for everyone. The big thing is that, not only do we try to, help other streamers grow, but we also try to provide next level content for all of the viewers that are a part of the community. And not only that, we also involve them in community nights, like movie nights, game nights. We're actually organizing right now on the side, doing like a Minecraft night. There's just random little tidbits, that we kind of add in just to, make it a all-inclusive experience for everybody that is involved, and just kind of make them feel like they actually have a home where we're at. And then also just another thing, we keep the conversation, about getting to know one another. We try to kill any like streaming conversation happening within the general chat, or to kind of kill the mentality behind the whole follow for follow, sub for sub, link spamming, etc. We're actually trying to create genuine relationships with people in our community.
And so to go ahead and springboard off of the genuine conversations, the genuine interactions that everyone's having with each other, it's so much more fun to be involved with people if they're your friend, right? We're always so hesitant to make new friends because we're kind of worried where's this going to go. And especially here in this entertainment, entrepreneurial like businesses where you've all heard a certain thing here and there when someone decides to take advantage of somebody else. So we're trying to find ways to go ahead and break those types of barriers down where it's like, yes, you're going to have to take the risk of clicking that link and hopping into the Discord, but we try to do our best to go ahead and protect the individual. And another thing, again, like he was talking about teachable moments and things where we try to help people understand how to grow, even just as an individual. If you don't know how to describe yourself without talking about streaming, that's an issue. And that in itself is going to stymie your overall growth. Because if you can only talk to people about streaming and nothing else, and they don't stream, you have no way of connecting them and then bringing them on board from somewhere else that their eyes were never attached to anything Twitch. They don't have a favorite streamer. They don't have any favorite games necessarily. Maybe you play a game that like, I actually was looking at that. I used to play this game when I was younger. No way, you used to play that too? An actual conversation. But if all you can talk about is your streaming, then they don't relate to that. They don't know anything about gaming. But now I start talking about fitness, like, oh really? Oh man. And so they assume to start talking about one thing and they start to find out, wait, oh, you're not just into that, you're into this too. These other types of interests are able to open up the doors.
So I know that you were saying that people sometimes get taken advantage of in communities in general. And some people do associate the word or term community or streaming community or any kind of community in general with negativity. How does your community break that mold?
So I think the big thing for the 8-Bit Dojo and the stream teams that we have involved, which is the 8-Bit Dojo, and then of course ESN, which I got here on my shirt, but which is Extraordinary Streamer Network. The the 8-Bit Dojo to me primarily is about like setting the bar high, so that we can, like I said, build those organic relationships, with streamers and with their communities. We put the streamers in the position to either fail or excel. And so I think that's what really, really kind of sets us apart. We give everybody the tools to succeed, and we provide them many, many, many opportunities and ways to build their content.
Spazzy, I know you said that you give people the tools to succeed in the community. Can you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's actually a very good question. So we provide them not only the opportunity. So we actually have a analyst that is one of our staff members of our community, and he actually goes through and he analyzes each and every single person's stream. And then he goes and tells them, if they need to, fix their branding, or maybe their audio is a little off, or, maybe their camera, quality isn't that great and they need to get some lighting in there, or, just little bitty things like that to kind of, up their content, interaction as well. So then he goes in and he tells them, and he'll give them an actual list and breakdown of, what things that they can adjust. And then on top of that, we also provide opportunities like, once again, the community events for people to get involved and connect with one another and connect with other streamers in the community. Because from the top down, the ESN team, the 8-Bit Dojo team, we're all involved with each other. There's no favoritism or anything like that. Like, we keep it a level playing field. ESN is essentially, for me, is just the representatives of the 8-Bit Dojo, the people who are, handling their stuff in a little more of a business sense already. And not only that, are wanting to take on the role of being a staff member of our community and being a lot more like reeled into all of that.
And so to go ahead and go along with what Spazzy was saying is that what we want to do that separates us, that adds to the community member, is that we want to, like anything I've done with my stream or my thought of a business, is giving you more value than what you're giving. Right. So when you come in and you give me 5 minutes, I want you to feel like you achieved 30 minutes out of that. You came in and gave me $5, you just achieved $100 worth of value. So when these community members come in, most of the time in most communities, the community members are making it better for the people on top. What we're trying to do is give more of the value back to the community members for even being involved. Right. So like the community nights are example, the ability to have, teachable moments such as an actual stream analyst, graphic designers, all different types of levels of content that they can consume, from reading, such as blogs, for audio, such as podcasts, and things along those lines.
So how can someone join your community and thrive, not only as a streamer, but as a content creator?
All right. Well, I guess Jen gave me the nod. Yeah. So the biggest thing I would say is obviously to join our community. The biggest way to get involved with that is either go through our website, 8bitdojo.tv, or which will give you a link to our Discord, which is our primary hub where we communicate with each other. So yeah, join the Discord. It's up on our Twitter. It's literally everywhere that we got it. It's on my Twitter. I think it's on General's Twitter. I may be wrong. And then to excel, in my opinion, get in there, like dive in, have conversations with people, start stopping in a couple streams. If you see a couple people live, like we have a bot in our channel that shows like actually who's live in the list. Stop in a couple channels, have some conversations, get people to actually know who you are, to get to know your name. And then, eventually that conversation will happen where it's like, man, I'm seeing this person around a lot. Like, I wonder what they're all about, and then you start checking their stuff. That's where the organic interaction happens, because when people are going out of their way to get to know you and to get to know your community and your stream, more than likely, if you're a experienced streamer, you're definitely going to go out of your way and go, okay, like this guy's really been, or this girl's been really, on their game about, like getting in contact with me. I'm going to go and check them out. And then when you find out, oh, wow, they're a streamer. And so then that's where the connection is made. So that's the kind of interaction that we're trying to create, is that organic interaction.
Big time. And then the way to excel is to know when and how you're going to pace yourself, right? So a lot of people, when they come into these communities, they're coming in at 100, 150 miles per hour, and they seem like the next best thing since sliced bread. You're like, oh my God, I love sliced bread. Give me more of it right now. Yeah. The problem is they can't maintain that level of trajectory, right? Are they balancing a job? Are they balancing 2 jobs? Do they have kids? How many pets are they? Do they have significant other, right? So that they have a list of these things. This week they went ham on everything. They're so awesome. So they're everywhere. But now they're gone, because now they're trying to balance back out because they went so hard here. And now since they're gone, because this is the entertainment industry, you're just trying to maintain your flow and stay on top of everything. So when people, if they decide to go off the freeway of everything, they took their eggs, and that's totally okay. They need to go. They had to go to the bowling alley, right? They took their eggs and they got off the freeway, but you're still going. You're still moving. And if they never get back on their freeway, you might never even know that they left. Yeah. So you always have to consider, that's why constantly it's being involved with people's, if it's their streams, not just their streams, but their communities, right? Yeah. And then all these communities want everyone to be involved with everybody. Right? Some people are like, oh, I'm afraid about my viewers. If that's your mentality, then more than likely this is not going to be the place that you would want to be a part of, because we want everyone to be around. Because I don't stream 24 hours a day. He doesn't stream 24 hours a day. None of our streamers stream 24/7. So therefore, people still want to watch stuff. They're insomniacs. They're not able to sleep for that long, or they have to go a couple of days because that's the way that their brain is wired. Well, they want to be a place that feels warm, feels comforting, and that's what allows them to do so, is because all these communities, even if the games are all different, it's like, I know that person. hey, how are you doing? And these warm, fuzzy feelings start to happen because you're actually, and they're genuinely asking how you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing that's kind of kept us around since, as long as we've seen a lot of communities that have come and gone, and they'll do really, really, really hot coming in. And then all of a sudden, they're gone within, 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And I think that we've really, really built a home and a family here, especially, when we went to TwitchCon and everything like that, we got to meet everybody. Like, all we wanted to do was spend more time with each other. And that was a really, really cool thing to experience. Yeah. And then, so to kind of like also add to, how you can excel, once again, all that activity is accounted for. So in our Discord, we have it set up to where once you reach like level 10, you actually unlock the application for the 8-Bit Dojo stream team. And if you've been involved in the community already, we've already seen your name pop up in places, not only in our streams, but also in the Discord or talking to community members. We've already seen that. So now when you apply, you have that little bit of extra edge on top of everything to make sure that you get your application approved. And then after you're on the 8-Bit Dojo stream team, you're doing everything that you can to be involved with your team and stuff like that and be involved with the community. After 3 months, if you're hitting, it's 15, we have the bar set at 15 concurrent viewers right now. But if you are hitting all those things and you're doing everything right, we allow you the opportunity to be able to apply for the ESN as well. And that's more of an invite thing, but yeah, that is also another opportunity that we.
Well, and it's one of those things that the more and more opportunities are laid out in front of you to succeed, right? Now, not everyone might not want to adhere to what we feel is going to be the best way of doing things. So a big thing for us is working together. Yes. Some people like to do it individually, but they might get caught in the thing that you were worried about earlier, which is the numbers game, where they might be like, well, if I do this, I'm going to get a bunch of numbers. So if you are only in it for the numbers, what we're trying to do as working as individuals together, it's not going to work, because we're going to notice that you're staying isolated on an island by yourself. And it's like, hey, come over here. No, I won't do anything. Okay, well, that's where we're going to amicably say, hey, you go do your thing. Totally cool. We're going to go do our thing, because what we've realized is, again, we can't work 24/7 for this thing. Some of us have full-time jobs that they're trying to balance. They have full-time relationships that they need to balance on top of still trying to make a impact in this world, be it streaming, be it a business venture or whatever, that we have to take these type of things into consideration, because if we don't, it's only going to start to burn people out. So when we have 8, 10, 12, 14 people all putting 40 hours of work in together, now we've got hundreds of hours of work per week and not just 40.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And Spazzy, you said something really interesting. You said that communities come and go. It happens all the time. What makes this community so different? What did you guys do to, I guess, lay the foundation for success in the community? Because look, even the Roman Empire fell. I mean, it was such an amazing accomplishment for someone to
utopia.
Yes, exactly. So what makes this community so different, and what have you set in place to make sure this is a successful community?
So just like any other community that I'm sure they've experienced, good and bad, we've definitely been through our trials. And we've had a lot of people, like Jen said previously, people that are trying to take advantage of you and stuff like that, or take advantage of the kindness that a community provides. And so we've set in place a lot of things. Like I said, we have walls that are set up, just so that we make sure that everybody that comes in, they're genuinely not only trying to get to know people, they're actually wanting their business to succeed, but they're also wanting everybody else's business to succeed as well. And that's also why we have the 2-team system. It's so that people that are new to the community, or if they're experienced streamers, they're set in a position to, once again, succeed or fail. And if they want to continue to succeed and are a lot more business minded, that's when they get brought up to the ESN, because we want to be able to provide them even more opportunities like sponsorships and stuff like that we want to provide down the road. So,
and one of our big things, and certain communities are more set on this, and it's numbers, right? We only care about numbers in the sense of seeing positive growth. That's what matters, not how big these numbers are. It's positive growth, good, sustainable traction. So you asked, how come we've been able to stay around when it's been, 2016? And some people might not have even known about us until this last year. It's because, like any business that I like to be a part of, I'm very big on a very strong foundation. Problem is, we don't have quick-crete for that. It takes time. Right. My connections are nothing to do with this type of industry. All my stuff is very fitness specific oriented. So not enough of that really comes on over to this realm like a lot of people might assume would. And so with that being, in the forefront, it's understanding how are we going to do these things to, again, like when he said walls, these aren't walls separating people inside, right? These are walls to protect from anybody who might. We're hoping not. We're hoping everyone's just going to be the best person you ever seen since Mayberry, that they're going to come on in there, everyone, hey, shake your hand. I love you, man. I know. I just met you. Let's do a hug. And that was a big thing that was happening. Like when we did our TwitchCon 8-Bit Dojo after party shindig, it was, I can't remember anyone unless there was, I think everybody, when they said goodbye, it was a hug at some point in time. You know what I mean? Like you felt good. You felt comfortable. You felt like this
felt
was
like a family.
Well spent, and it was a family because, again, we're all working hard. It gets stressful, but we're also able to bounce those stresses off of each other, and it's taking time. Certain individuals got too stressed out, and it was better for them to do their own thing, right? Because they got too stressed out. And sometimes you won't learn that unless you get in there. And as long as you act like a professional, you're also going to excel. You're going to excel, all right? You're going to learn how to speak normally. You're going to know how to
it's
pronounce
a combination of
correctly.
Succeed and excel. So
exactly.
That's a perfect
it's
word.
The newest fad. Make sure to hashtag it out there. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. And so those types of things are what, again, we try to take our time. We'd love for it to go faster, but we're not going to force feed it because like the Roman Empire was awesome. They were sustainable until they tried to hit the last 3 years, which really came down to the last 6 months because time was way different back then. That's when everything went bad because they overextended. They tried to do too much. It all fell apart. Yeah. Our big thing is using history as a learning tool. No, to just take it nice and easy, even though we want to go here. Yeah. Take it easy because it will succeed.
Yeah. And
I think another layer of accomplishment that I kind of felt was after the after party and everything like that, people coming up and shaking my hand that I had literally just met because they were members, they're members of our stream teams that they brought their community actually to the thing. So that was my first time meeting them. And then just coming up and shaking our hands and thanking us for, just a nice chill into all the TwitchCon chaos. And, being like, this was just some of the best vibes that we've had at the con, just because you guys actually you seem like you actually care about people's well-being. Yeah. And so that was something I was like, wow, we built this, this is really, really cool. We made a family, of just phenomenal people and phenomenal content creators and business people as well. I mean, it's just kind of all started to slowly start to come together. And the one thing that me and Jen have always seen eye to eye on is the slow game, or the long game. Sorry, not slow game. The long game versus, trying to freaking just hammer in there and then, just see what happens.
Yeah. So, General, you kind of touched upon a great topic or a great theme. Mm-hmm. You said that the Romans overextended and that's the downfall of their society. So nothing great came overnight, obviously, and you can't overextend. But keeping stagnant also is a killer. So where do you see the community going in the next, or in the future, I guess, just say in the next half of this upcoming year? Where do you plan to take this community?
Well, with what our plans are, always, as anyone should, right? Even if you're not in a community, if you're just an individual, always be ready to pivot. So we've got ourselves with ideas that we think are going to work very well coming forward. We have a lot of live events that you're going to see a ton of different streamers, again, streamed live events, and also in-person live events to be coming up that are going to be either for the community, they're going to be for the streamer growth. We have a lot of really fun stuff that's going to happen. However, though, even though this is all exciting and whatnot, we might have to pivot, and we're going to be flexible enough to do that because we're not going to burn out any of our people on our watch. If they feel burnt out, that's a personal thing, and they need to take care of themselves. But what we're going to try to do at our best is to make sure it's something that we all can hopefully sustain.
This represents. So, gentlemen, in maybe a few words, or you can elaborate a little bit later, but what does community mean to you?
Well, community to me, like I continue to emphasize, is the word family. And family can be pretty much anybody. For me, I mean, growing up, I had a lot of like close family, but a lot of my friends were also really, really close to me in that regard as well. And family to me means, people who want to not only see you succeed as an individual, but also see you succeed in whatever you're pursuing. And, streaming, like it's kind of a rough, it's definitely a mixture, you have, I'm sure there's plenty of streamers out there who have family who don't know what it is and don't really even give a crap about it. But then I have friendships, where people are super, super, super supportive in everything that I am trying to achieve. And so that to me, like, once again, that's what community means to me, is a group of people who care about one another, who actually want one another to succeed in every aspect of their life.
And so to go along with that, I'm not going to steal family, because obviously he already said that. The word that I would use is happiness, right? If you're part of a really good, strong unit, you're happy. And if you're happy, it's going to be a lot easier to be a part of another unit. If you're not happy for whatever reason, it could be easy. Like, you always want to put other people first. I care about other people's happiness. I care about other people's happiness. That makes me happy. And yet that person's always sad. Well, weren't you always helping people? You should feel happy. So some individuals don't realize that they themselves need to be happy to help other individuals. So you need to be happy to be a part of our happy community as well. I know how I explain community, and I know how SpazeeMcGee explained community, but from your perspective, actually, Pescador, and you've joined the 8-Bit Dojo, and you've gotten to experience us a little bit. Well, how do you feel about community, and how do you feel about the 8-Bit Dojo?
The way you guys explained it was perfect. Family is a key part. Happiness is also a key part, but I think that it's a group of people that come together for something they have in common. Everyone comes here for a reason. May it be family, happiness, just something that maybe extracurricular activities, hobbies, things like that. I mean, some people need an outlet to really unwind at the end of the day, so come to someone to talk to, and that's where you can find people in this community, and that's the way I see it. And being a part of the 8-Bit Dojo has really actually gotten me the opportunity to get to know some fantastic individuals, as you all have known from your Twitch and meetups. But I've made some actual friendships that I do talk to people outside of the community just to see how they're doing on a regular basis. So everyone's been extremely warm and inviting, and honestly, I just enjoy being part of the 8-Bit Dojo.
That's so awesome. So I like that answer too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for giving us a rundown of what to expect from the 8-Bit Dojo, and I'm excited to see what you guys have to offer this community in the upcoming months.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us along. Definitely. We appreciate working with you and everything that you do, especially for the community, and what you provide, not only for, our community, but for the Twitch community and YouTubers, etc. As far as like content and being able to help them, you provide the tools to help them grow. So
it's actually been exciting from when I first originally had met you, Pescador, through a reference of the green dumpling, and how it's gone from there till now. Is just how involved that you've been in, not just obviously joining our community, but what you're doing still for your own social presence. It's been a lot of fun to watch that, and I'm really honored to be able to be on your show again.
It's fantastic. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And thanks for listening to this episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast. Be sure to rate and subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. I release a new episode every Wednesday. And as always, stay rad, comrades.